In today's video, Rabbi Singer accuses us as Christians of being idol worshippers, but watch how I tear this weak argument to shreds.
Imagine walking into church on Sunday morning, and then from the moment you walk into church to the time you leave church, I don't know, whatever long it takes, 2 hours, right? It's Jesus just straight through. It's just, it really is a personality cult about Jesus.
If Jesus was God, why would that be an issue? It wouldn't be. So just think about this is what happens a lot of the time. You have people who will impose their belief system onto Christianity instead of looking at Christianity for what it says it is, i.e. Jesus is God, is one of the tenets of Christianity, and focusing it from there. If you ask Rabbi Singer, imagine if you went into, let's just say, let's keep it old school, right? Let's go to the Old Testament. Imagine you were at the tabernacle, Rabbi Tovia Singer, thousands of years ago. You saw God come down, right? The Shekinah, God's presence. And for the next 2 hours, Rabbi, all you did was worship God in his presence. Would that be a personality cult or anything along those lines? No, it wouldn't. So if a Christian goes to church and is singing to Jesus, is worshiping Jesus as God, why would that be an issue? It wouldn't be. It always amazes me when people use just like broken logic.
The whole thing is Jesus straight through. It's hymns about Jesus, right? Imagine that, right? And then you look at the Hebrew Bible, Tanakh, and there's nothing about Jesus. It just doesn't match. It's not just a different orientation. There's no personality cult. And moreover, in Tanakh, I've often said that no one would ever dream of, as much as you and I look forward, like Mashiach could be coming very soon, especially now, right? And it's very possible that we will witness the resurrection in a matter of days or weeks. I mean, we're very close to the end now, right?
Wow.
So
Rabbi Tovia Singer might turn into a date setter.
Imagine what it would be like if we were to meet Yeshayahu, Isaiah, right? I mean, that would be, meet Daniel, it would be amazing, right? But no matter how amazing it would be to meet Abraham, our father of blessed memory, right? None of us would ever dream of worshiping any of them.
And this is the question, the $1 million question, Rabbi. Would any Christian dream of worshiping Isaiah, Daniel, Abraham, or any of the greats from the Old Testament, or even any of the greats from the New Testament? No, we would not. Why? Because we don't view them as God.
No matter how high our regard is for them, the notion of worshiping Jeremiah is just insane. It's just, why would you if someone were to even suggest that, you go, you have to be mentally ill to think that, because in Tanakh, the greatest people, every mistake they've made is highlighted for everyone to see. Every shortcoming is highlighted for us to learn from. We would just never think of worshiping Moses. What? You crazy? We would never do that. We would be in awe. If I saw Shmuel Hanavi, I would be shaking. I would.
And bear in mind, like, again, I've mentioned this, Christians are not going to be worshipping any of these guys. In the New Testament, for example, Cornelius, this Gentile, who sees Peter, who tries to worship him. What does Peter do? He says, get up. I'm a man just like you. In the last book of the Bible, Revelation, John sees this angel and he's trying to bow down and worship him. And the angel says to him, get up, right? What are you doing? Like, worship God. Like, he actually thinks by this thing he's going on right now, this rant, he actually thinks he's doing something. But anybody, this is why I just say, like, just pay attention when people are making arguments against Christianity. Does the logic make sense? Is it reasonable? Or is it just something nonsensical? This is what we call a straw man argument. Christians don't worship these different individuals because we don't believe that they are God. They are men, they are women, etc. Great men and great women. We will honor them, but we wouldn't worship them. So the point he's making this now is relevant.
Because Tanakh is always oriented vertically to God. We would never dream, I want people to observe this, we would never dream reading Tanakh to ever worship any of the great saints that we've encountered there. Conversely, it's very easy to understand that when reading the Christian Bible, going to church, that all you find is Jesus, 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 and people are worshiping. Now, in the Christian Bible,
So what he did there, just to simplify this again, he's conflated now. He's conflated Jeremiah, Abraham, Isaiah, any of the Old Testament prophets, and Jesus. He thinks that Christians view the Old Testament prophets or even New Testament apostles, etc., on the same level as Jesus, which that is like just not true.
Jesus is not God equal, but he's way up there. It depends on what book.
Wait,
So
let's go back,
missionaries
let's go
are
back.
left with a grip any of the great saints that we've encountered there. Conversely, it's very easy to understand that when reading the Christian Bible, going to church, that all you find is Jesus, 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 and people are worshiping. Now, in the Christian Bible, Jesus is not God equal.
Yes, he is. Philippians chapter 2.
But he's way up there. It depends on what book.
Mark 1, Matthew 1, Luke 1, John 1. That's all of the Gospels. Paul's writings. Jesus is God. Like in any of the Gospels, Paul's letters, New Testament, just as a whole. It would be hard for you to open up any book in the New Testament and not find Jesus being God. Maybe a book like Philemon, but yeah, let's go.
So missionaries are left with a Hebrew Bible with no mention of Jesus. Like, where is he? Like, he's supposed to be the second person of the triune Godhead. So what they have to do is they're looking for shadows and types. They're ghost hunting.